Go. We are officially live. Happy Thursday to everyone. For those of you that were watching the college basketball show, welcome back. Long time no see. I did a pre-show poll here. Will Prop Beaver have a winning night? 67% of you said yes. So
very nice of you guys. Thank you.
And I think Dustin has to figure it out here. He calls it the Beaver theory. Tail him every other day. Today's a Beaver day.
The Beaver theory does not sound like a sports betting thing.
No. In some cases, it is.
No, but it does. He sweeps the board and goes 4-0, and then the next day he'll go 1-5. So it's like
it's not a fun time. We're just looking to find some consistency this season.
All right. Well, in case you're unaware of what's going on in the NBA, it's the trade deadline, and this is a nightmare. So this is not exactly the most loaded day as far as betting value, but we'll scroll through and see if we can find some stuff here. All right. First game, Spurs on the road in Orlando, and nothing has changed for me since last night. Last night I said that I like the matchup for Orlando, but I'm not going to lay this big number. I feel the exact same way. So I'm going to put Orlando minus 10 up on the screen, but I will not be betting this. This won't go anywhere near my ticket. In fact, if it wasn't for the Orlando recent crumble as far as the interior defense, which I don't know what is going on there, if it wasn't for that, I probably could get to San Antonio. I mean, I probably could get to Orlando minus 10. But that factor in there is going to keep me off. Magic minus 10 or pass. Emphasis on the pass part. Either you guys?
Yeah, I'm on the same boat. I like the Magic minus 10. I probably play a half unit on it. I don't really love laying double digits with a team that operates as slow as Orlando, but it's a really good matchup for them offensively, and I think they're just going to create havoc, picking the Spurs pockets all night on the defensive end. Magic are 7-3 against the spread as home favorites this season, and in those covers, they won by 30, 19, 13, 19, 32, 10, and 18 points. So they would have been 5-0-1 against the spread with this heavy number. And the Spurs are looking like they're declining again. I think they're 1-4 against the spread or 1-5 against the spread in their last 5 or 6. And the Magic are on a kill spree covering that spread right now. So I just think with them coming off a brutal loss to the Heat, they're going to want to regather here, get back on track. And this is a great spot to do so. So while it's a big number, I think it's a big number for a reason. So I'd play Orlando.
Modi?
Yeah, this is a half unit play, but I took Wemby under 21.5 points. I feel like either last week or the week before, I took Wemby under his point total and it cashed. I feel like he hasn't. It's not like at some point his over under his points was like 24.5, stuff like that. It's calmed down a little bit to 21.5, but I still think that's too high. He had that ridiculous stretch in January. He had a 12-game stretch where he cashed 22 or more points in 11 of 12 games, and he did it in 9 straight. Since then, he's gone under in 4 straight games, and it's like he's still playing well. I mean, in those 4 games, 21, 16, 19, 18 points. So it's not like he's just completely fallen off the map, but he's not quite at the level that he was before, which kind of makes sense as a rookie. And as he starts playing well, he starts getting a little bit more defensive attention and stuff like that. And the Magic defense, while you mentioned, have fallen off a little bit recently. If you look at just on average, they're a really tough matchup for someone like a big man like Wemby. Even though he can shoot, he does most of the damage inside. Like the way you hurt the Magic defense has always been on the perimeter with guard play. And according to Courtside Pal, like the Magic give up the fewest points per game to someone of Wemby's shooting profile and the 3rd fewest to both of his scoring and his playmaking. Again, it's guards that you want to target against the Magic defense. So this isn't my favorite play of the day. Like it didn't make my official YouTube video of my plays, but I did play it for a half unit. So I do actually have this one locked in myself.
Wemby under 21.5 points. Okay. Me and Prop Beaver both leaning towards the Magic. Prop Beaver sounds a little more confident in it than I do. Our poll on the Magic, 53%, 26%. So it looks like we are on an Orlando program today. Spurs obviously on the back-to-back, where they almost got that backdoor cover last night, by the way. And S. was in the Discord. He put Heat minus 7 with like cash emojis, like celebrating, and then the Spurs immediately went on an 11-0 run. And they brought it back within 7, but then they blew it. Next. Golden State at Pacers. And I know last night on the video, I said that I liked Golden State. I ended up passing, and I'm not going to put Pacers on the board for me because I very rarely would switch my pick. But this is just a straight pass for me. I'm not. I'll put Golden State up. This is what I gave up last night, but this is a hard pass. I really am worried about how well the Pacers have defended the 3-point shot. I'm also really worried about the Pacers offense pushing the tempo in transition. That's something Golden State struggled with. This isn't a great matchup for Golden State. The one thing I will say is I don't care about the back-to-back. They blew Philly out of the building last night. None of their main pieces played major minutes, so take the back-to-back and throw it out. It's meaningless. That plays no factor into this. So as far as the number, I'm sure that the fact that Golden State is on a back-to-back, I'm sure that's factoring into the market. Is why we're seeing such a big number, 5.5 or 6, and I think that's inflated. So therefore, that would put me on Golden State. But overall, as far as the matchup goes, I don't love the way Golden State matches up against the Pacers. That's why I ultimately passed. But yeah, Golden State or pass, but this is another pass. I promise that there is some games I bet, but like I said, this is with the trade deadline, this is a crazy day for the NBA. Either you guys?
I'll let Modai go first because we have the same guy, same prop, just at different numbers. So I'll let him start.
Yeah, I'm guessing a lot of people are going to be on this one. It's my absolute favorite play of the day. It's Jonathan Kuminga over 21.5 points. I got it at plus 115 at ESPN Bet. I think it actually went up. Like I think last I saw you could get it at plus 120, which I was surprised by. I thought the opposite was going to happen. And I also laddered him to 25 plus as well. And I'm probably going to sprinkle 30 plus for like a $10 dart throw or something like that. And this is probably like, again, everybody might be on this play. It might be super square, but I love this play. Like, again, it's my favorite one of the day. Like,
hasn't he been cashing nonstop, Kuminga?
Except for last night, which is why I think we're able to get it in like the low 20s, because he only scored 18 last night, but he played, like you said, he played fewer than 30 minutes because of the blowout. Prior to that, he had played 30 or more minutes in 6 straight games. And overall, he's cashed this number in 7 of 10 games, including games in which he didn't even get to 30 minutes. So he didn't last night. He didn't get to 30 minutes or cash it, but he has done that in the past. Another game he missed was when Steph blew up and scored over 60 against the Hawks, and Steph attempted like 38 shots. Obviously, Steph's going to get his, but 38 shots, it's crazy.
Right.
And even with the defensive, the trade for Siakam, like the Pacers defense really hasn't gotten that much better. They still allow the most points per game at the in the paint in the entire NBA. They're over a full point higher than the next team, which is the Wizards. They've consistently been the best defense to target for power forwards who attack the rim, like Kuminga has been doing. He's been getting more playing time. He's been playing incredibly well. I think if this trajectory continues for Kuminga, it's going to get to the point where his over-under is at like 23, 24 and a half. So I don't think you're going to be able to get a value on Kuminga for much longer.
Looks like our comments are kind of missed. A couple people saying Pacers, Dustin saying Golden State money line. EQ likes Warriors to cover. Someone said Popovich is going to smack that stash off to prop.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
You have a play in this one? No, Popovich, because of the rotation.
I beef with Popovich.
He said he was going to scrap him.
Yeah, I said I'd scrap him. I have no regrets about it. So for this one, yeah, I have the same thing. I have Jonathan Kuminga here. I think a lot of what Modai said applies. Yes, I honestly forgot the fact that in that Atlanta game, that's the last time I bet him. And that was the only time I bet him recently. He went under, and it was because he didn't get the volume. Steph went off. Last game, should have cashed. Feel like we're getting a discount because he went under his last 2 or 3 games. But this kind of reminds me of the Jordan Poole days when Steph Curry first got hurt. And they just kept moving his line up, and he just kept hitting. And they just could not catch up quick enough. So I think Kuminga is just going to continue to eat here. And what I really love is that this is just not a good matchup for Steph and Clay. The Indiana Pacers have been excellent against the above the break 3 lately. Over the last 10 games, they're 9th in frequency and 3rd in efficiency allowed. So that's good for us because Kuminga shoots just 14% of his shots there. Meanwhile, if you look at the last 10 games, they're allowing the 6th most field goals made within 8 feet of the basket. And on the season, that's the most field goals made within 8 feet of the basket. And Kuminga shoots 74% of his shots there. Aaron Nesmith's really the only guy that I'm scared of defensively for the Pacers. And he's going to be on Steph Curry. So nobody else really scares me in terms of stopping him from getting to the rim. And kind of what Modi was alluding to earlier, this is a team that struggled against his position, his type of player all season. They're allowing the most points per game, third highest field goal percentage, 2 power forwards. I don't think this is going to happen because we've gotten pretty late into the day and nothing's been said, but like it's a back-to-back. You never know if Clay or Steph is going to be ruled out. So I just think that at this number, it's too good to pass up on a guy who's red hot right now, and it seems the books just aren't respecting him enough.
Yeah. What about a Warriors money line Kuminga 25+ type swing?
Smackaroo.
Nice little smacker there. Our poll heavily on Golden State here, 59%, 27% in favor of the Warriors. So community definitely leading towards the Dubs. And that would explain the line movement too. It was at 6.5 this morning early. It's now down to 5.5. Next game. Knicks at Mavs. I mean, who the hell? It looks like, is Bojan and Burks going to play in this game for the Knicks?
Nah, that'd be insane. They just played last night.
Yeah, I'd be shocked.
Bro, Bojan didn't, but Burks did.
That's what I thought too, and I thought I saw him listed as probable. Oh, okay, good. Makes more sense. I bet Dallas. By the way, this season as a whole, I haven't had the best luck as far as closing line value, but I've been killing it recently. I'm holding the Dallas -2, or no, you know what? I think I have 2.5. I'll have to check. But I bet in on Dallas pretty early, and the main reason of it is, for whatever reason, maybe it's OG Anunoby being injured, maybe it's Quentin Grimes being injured, who no longer even plays for the Knicks. But the Knicks' three-point defense has gone bye-bye. They went from an elite three-point defense to, in the past 2 weeks, they're actually one of the worst in the NBA. And this is a Knicks team who the backbone of the defense is locking down the perimeter and forcing you into the interior to take contested shots. That's what they do under Thibodeau. So all those injuries still apply. Grimes is now gone. OG Anunoby's still out. Jalen Brunson may not play in this game. And I don't see any way Dallas doesn't have a three-point party on the Knicks here in the Garden. Mavericks have also been extremely profitable as road favorites this year. I just hit with them the other night in Brooklyn. I think the Knicks made a bunch of moves in the trade deadline. I kind of like the way the Knicks are built when they get healthy after the All-Star break and get Randall back. But as far as right now, next week and a half until the All-Star break, I don't really see a ton of value on the Knicks. So I'm in at Dallas, I think at 2.5. Would still play it at 3.5.
Firmly agree with you. I like Dallas, and I actually like the over here at 228, which sounds nuts in a Knicks-Mavericks game, but I'll get to that in a bit. Like you said, I mean, this is just an extremely thin Knicks rotation right now. They're in a 7-man rotation, as at least what RotoWire is projecting, and the 7th man is Taj Gibson. 3 of the guys are centers. I mean, this is just like, it's just a brutal rotation, and I know the Knicks have been wagging since the OG trade. I mean, they've been unreal against the spread, but they're showing signs of weakness. They're 0-2 against the spread their last 2. And I've felt this entire win streak, at least towards the latter half, that this is a team that's bound to regress. And with a step up in competition after facing one of the easiest schedules in the league during that span, I just feel like the Mavericks could get it done. I think, as you were alluding to earlier, 10-3 against the spread as road favorites this year. My main concern, though, and why I'm also leaning the over a bit, is that the Mavs do lack a big to stop the Knicks from attacking the interior and getting buckets in transition. I mean, Maxi Kleber's not going to cut it. They just got a Rashawn Holmes as well. So they don't really have anybody besides Kleber and Powell, and that's just not great. On top of that, both of these teams, I have this weird theory. Both these teams have been going under at a high rate lately. And I feel like when these types of teams face off, like just like the Knicks and the Grizzlies the other night, the overs tend to hit more than not. They really adjust for that. It's at 228, which I think is pretty high. So I feel like they're kind of leaning here, trying to get people in on that under. But I mean, as I just said, that Grizzlies G League versus Knicks game, they just had 136 points scored there. So I'm going to take the risk, and I'll go with the over and the Mavs here.
Over and the Mavs. Okay, hold on. Over and the Mavs. Let's get the over on the screen for you, so it looks all sweet. Modi, I saw a Kyrie. Oh, never mind. That's messing up mine. Damn it. Hold
yeah.
Yes, I saw Kyrie. I saw a Kyrie thing.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's over for Kyrie. It's kind of like a lot of what Prop Beaver said. Like the Knicks defense has been, I mean, since the OG trade had been phenomenal, but that's when they have their players healthy, which is not the case for tonight. OG's out. Randall's obviously going to be out for a while. Like Brunson's questionable. Not that he's the defensive stopper, but just another guy that's missing. And Kyrie has been really good. Like, he was on an absurd stretch before he hurt his thumb. And since he's come back, I think he's played 2 games. And his last game, he cashed it, scoring 36 against the Nets. He also just loves crushing the Knicks. I don't know what it is about that. Like, I know he's from New York and he chose the Nets over the Knicks, but since he joined the Nets, he's played the Knicks 7 times and he's gone over this number in 5 of those 7.
He kills the Knicks. He always
he just loves killing. He loves killing the Knicks. Granted, only one of those games was actually in the Garden, which I thought was kind of interesting. Like, he's done it away, but still, he just loves killing the Knicks, and he's been playing really well recently. And I think Luka kind of likes the fact that he can take a break after Luka going absurd when Kyrie did miss like the 10 to 14 days or whatever. So yeah, this was one. Again, it wasn't one of my favorite plays, but just to kind of get something out there for a game that's like, I mean, all these games have so many guys missing, but this one that I did think you could, I think you could play this Kyrie one.
All right, Kyrie over 27.5 points. Our poll is all over Dallas here, 76% to 13%. So looking like Dallas is going to be the heavy public side. I don't care though; I'd still take it at the 3.5. Next game. Cleveland at Brooklyn. Cavs -6.5. It's at now. Nets +6.5. Over 224.5. Under.
I was seeing 7.5, by the way.
Oh, let me check. When I made the graphics, it was 6.5, but yeah, 7.5 now. Holy crap, 7.5 now. God damn. All right, I mean, I guess I'll put it up. This is the way I would go here, and I kind of do like it. I like Cleveland to win comfortably, but I didn't bet it, and I don't think I'm going to get there. Little worried that the Nets have been doing a decent job against a 3-point shot, but you know what? Golden State was able to hit some threes against them, so it's tough to put full faith in the Nets perimeter defense right now, because we saw for the first 3 months of the season they had a terrible perimeter defense, and then all of a sudden they were good again, and then I trusted them against the Warriors and they bit me in the ass. So I don't know if the Nets defense is regressing a little bit, because they were up towards the top 5, but now if you look at the last 10 games, they're like 9th and 11th, so maybe they're starting to regress a little bit. That's the only path I see to a Nets cover is Cleveland's outside shots not falling, but Cavs are probably the hottest team in the NBA right now. I don't see any reason to try and step on the other side. It definitely wouldn't touch Brooklyn. It'd be only Cleveland here. Kind of wishing. See, last night I said Cleveland -6. I was leaning on the video. I thought some sharps were going to buy in on the Nets, and I was going to be able to get like 4.5, 5, or something like that. But obviously the trades have a lot to do with that. So yeah, Cleveland -7.5 would be the move here, but I'm not taking it.
I like the under in this game, under 224.5. I already didn't like the matchup for either offense. Cavs rely heavily on the above the break 3-point. I know they showed a little bit of weakness recently, but I mean, like, I guess the last game, but like still over the last 10 games, they've showed dramatic improvement. They're trying to at least limit those outside shots. And the Nets themselves also heavily rely on the above the break 3-point. And this has been an area of strength for the Cavs all season. Now the Nets got rid of 2 of their point guards, and the Nets are going to be forced to have Simmons and Claxton on the floor tonight for a lot of minutes. Both of those guys are allergic to shooting the basketball. This is going to make the Nets offense incredibly reliant on Thomas and Bridges, and we know how that could go. Thomas could be on fire tonight. I mean, he could light the world on fire, or he could flat out suck, and this will fly under. I just think they have a brutal matchup ahead of them. On top of that, the Cavs offense has been bad. Real bad on back-to-backs this year. They're 27th in offensive efficiency, but their defense, thankfully, is 10th in efficiency.
When's the last time they had a back-to-back, though? Because they got hot like a month and a half ago. I would assume most of those numbers from the back-to-backs were from early in the season when Cleveland was struggling a little bit. I'm just thinking out loud.
No, I mean, like, try to just, like, discredit my info.
I was just providing...
What do I even research for? What's the point?
I was just providing a potential counterpoint. You want to live in a fantasy world where everything you do is perfect. I don't know. I think a lot of those Cleveland back-to-back numbers are probably from early in the season.
Yeah, all right. Mode I could go. I'll get taken.
All right.
Yeah, so I was on Mobley under 15.5 points earlier in the day, but that got steamed down to 13.5, so I wouldn't recommend touching it there. I did put just like a quarter unit, like for me, $25 dart throw on Ben Simmons to record a double-double. It's plus, I think last I checked, it's plus 800 on FanDuel, which I thought was just crazy value. He's only played in 3 games back from his injury, and he's played about 20 minutes in those 3 games. But he's had a double-double in one of those 3. Against the Jazz, he went for 10 points, 8 rebounds, and 11 assists. And he has yet to hit 10 rebounds since he came back, but he's had 8, 9, and 9. So like he's just hovering right around there. And then in the 3 games, he's had 11, 5, and 7 assists. Like he could get a double-double from just rebounds and assists. I know the Cavs defense is really good, and obviously they're way, way better than the Jazz, who he did get the double-double against. But also, there's nobody left to play for the Nets at this point, as you guys already said.
Yeah, the minutes
he's going to have to, even if he plays 20 minutes, like he's going to do everything in 20 minutes. I honestly, of all the things I worry about him getting, is 10 points. Honestly, I think that's the most concerning thing. But for plus 800 odds, like the guy's been doing everything since he's come back. He's already cashed it once. He's been hovering around it in 2 of the 3 games. So yeah, I think for plus 800, like, there's not a lot that someone can't convince me of at plus 800 odds.
Sounds good. I mean, if he gets
during the hot streak, they had 2 games on 0 days rest. They scored 108 and 104 points.
Did they cover?
Not against the Grizzlies, and no, they lost the other game straight up. So no, they didn't cover neither.
During the hot streak, how long ago?
It was part of a run that is, I can't count up all those W's, but it's during their big run. They had a 3-game losing streak, and then after that,
I was saying the date. Give me the date.
December 20th.
Dude,
one
it's
of
like
them.
2 months
ago. The other one is February 1st.
Just happened.
Okay.
Next.
I
just poked holes in your.
You're a punk.
Bulls on the road in Memphis. What a disgusting game. Bulls -6 or 6.5. Is it 6.5 now?
I believe it is 6.5. Let me check. It's at 6 even.
Oh, 6 even. Okay. Grizzlies +6. Over 216.5. Under 216.5. I mean, I'll just put Grizzlies up. There's no chance in hell I'm betting this game. My only reasoning for it is Memphis just keeps covering these games where they're like ugly home dogs where you're like, I guess Memphis is the right side, but I don't want to actually do it. And I mean, with all the trade deadline stuff and then their injury report is particularly long today. I mean, it's always disgusting, but I mean, they got new names on here. Let's look at the projected rotation here for Memphis. Actually doesn't look that terrible for their standards. Yeah, this is the only way I'd go. Memphis plus the 6 because they keep covering at home, getting points. They keep covering the number, and it's the Bulls. The last time we saw the Bulls, they pulled a huge win out for me against Minnesota. I had them as my top bet. I had Bulls plus 5.5 and the money line. They came all the way back to win, coming off the huge emotional comeback. Now go on the road against a Memphis team that always seems to surprise people and keep it competitive. So Memphis plus 6, not betting it.
Yeah, Memphis +6, but I will bet it if Jaren Jackson Jr. plays. He's been upgraded from out to questionable, so if he goes in this game, I will play it. I just think it's a pure play on the spot. Bulls coming off that insane comeback victory against the T-Wolves, as you just mentioned. Both have been covering the spread a lot lately, but the strength of schedule, very clear. Bulls have been playing some horrible teams. Grizzlies have been playing some excellent teams. And the Bulls love to shoot that mid-range shot. The Grizzlies are excellent at defending it. Also, during the span of injuries, they're relying on the 3-ball a lot more. The Bulls' 3-ball defense lately has been terrible over the last 10 games. I just think that at the number with the Grizzlies at home, I would definitely take that. In terms of props, I'm going to be considering Kobe White or DeRozan unders here. And may also look at a Vince Williams Jr. or Kennard 3-point overs, but didn't really get to look at that.
Someone said, why don't they show the chat anymore? Can you guys not see it? It's right at the bottom of the screen.
No, I could see it. I saw one of my boys comment.
Oh, all right. Anyway, Modi?
Yeah, pass. I've never cared less about a basketball game in my entire life.
Tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
49% to 33% Bulls. So Bulls win the poll. Bulls money line will get a shot to be the community parlay. If you are on the Bulls, your silver lining, I guess it wouldn't really be a silver lining. A positive angle for you would be the Bulls have actually done a good job this year as road favorites. I think they're like 5-1 or 4-1. So laying points on the road has been a profitable spot for the Bulls. So if you're betting Chicago, you have that to hang your hat on. Next, Minnesota at Milwaukee. Minnesota. This line's at 1 now. To be honest, I thought I was going to get like really good closing line value in this one. I got a point. I grabbed it at Minnesota +2 last night, and I was like, oh, I bet you that they're going to close. I bet you they're going to be laying 1.5 or 2. No, I got 1 point. But you guys want to go first?
I don't really have anything in this game. I know it's an exciting game, but nothing really just stuck out to me in terms of props. I think Modi has 2 though, so
okay, Matt, take it.
Talk.
Yeah, I did have 2, and both of them made my actual card, if you want to call it ticket, whatever. Well, I think I only gave one of them to Prop Beaver, but it's Giannis under 7.5 assists, and it's Anthony Edwards over 26.5 points. Both of them are offered at -125. I feel like for Giannis, I mean, Chris Middleton's confirmed out. Both Dame and Brook Lopez, last I checked, are questionable. And the Timberwolves defense is just so tough. Like they best defensive net rating in the NBA, allowing the fewest points per game in the NBA, allowing the second fewest opponent assists per game. And Giannis, he's gone over this in 2 games that Doc Rivers has become the head coach of the Bucks, but that was against the Mavericks and the Jazz. Like totally opposite defenses, especially the Jazz. Like they're the defense you want to target the most with assists. And the other 3 games, he hasn't even come close. Like 6 assists in the other 3 games with Doc. And even if you go back prior to Doc, he's missed it in 4 of 6 games. And in the other game, he had 4 assists. So it's just a tough matchup. And I could just see this being one where Giannis, like maybe it's just a scoring load. It's like, even if Dame and Brook Lopez play, probably not going to be 100%. And I'm guessing, and especially no Chris Middleton just for like kick out 3-pointers and stuff. So Giannis under 7.5 assists. And then the Anthony Edwards one. Take your guards against the Bucks, the drop coverage. I can assure you, as a Sixers fan, Doc Rivers will do the drop coverage with Brook Lopez, and he will allow guys like Anthony Edwards to just waltz into mid-range jumpers. Anthony Edwards takes the 8th most pull-up jumpers in the NBA. He's got the highest usage rate on the Timberwolves by far at like 32.42%. The next highest is Karl Anthony Towns at 27.92. And it's not like the high usage point guard, which I normally take against the Bucks, but it's still their highest usage guard. He's just not the actual point guard. So both those plays in this one, I did really like.
Prop Beaver, do they have over free throw attempts on any books? Can you bet that?
They have that on like the fantasy apps. I know specifically Prize Picks does 3 throws attempted.
But okay, but it's not available on sports.
They don't have that on sportsbooks now.
Reason being, I think Giannis over free throw attempts would be the look. In fact, that's pretty much the only positive angle for Milwaukee here would be they should be able to get to the foul line, and it kind of supports what Matt was saying. Minnesota plays such good defense on the perimeter, especially against the above the break 3, which Milwaukee likes to shoot a lot of shots from, that they're going to be forced to try to attack the basket. And Minnesota, the defense is elite, but they have had problems fouling people. So I can see Giannis getting a lot of trips to the line. But still, I just like the matchup across the board for Minnesota. Bucks like to push the pace and get out in transition. Minnesota's been great defensively against the fast break. Like I said, Minnesota defends the above the break 3 really well. They really want to try to force the Bucks to go inside and try to score on Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns. And I think Minnesota has the tools. They have the bodies to defend Giannis, and I think they'll give the Bucks a real hard time. And on the other side, I mean, the Bucks defense is definitely a little bit undervalued. They kind of got branded as a bad defense because of the defense they were playing earlier in the year. They're not absolutely terrible, but Minnesota should get to the foul line right back because that same mismatch exists on the other side. Minnesota's 5th in free throw rate. Bucks defense 26th in the last 10 games. So I expect a lot of trips to the free throw line for them as well. Like Modi said, Anthony Edwards should have a lot of open looks as far as jump shots. I like Minnesota. Now, I don't even think the Timberwolves are playing their best brand of basketball right now, but neither are the Bucks. And the Bucks, the Bucks are almost at a point where it's crazy. Are the Bucks like auto fade right now? What are they, 4-14 against the spread in their last 18? It's crazy. They're 2-7 against the spread in their last 9 at home. So the idea that like, oh, well, that was just on the road. Now, they've been pretty ass at home as well. And don't they have a game tomorrow night too? I don't have my notes open. I was just pretty sure they have a game tomorrow night too. Let me just confirm that.
The Bucks, I think so.
Yeah, they got a game tomorrow night too. I mean, it's tomorrow night's the Hornets, so this would be the bigger game. But still, actually, I mean, theoretically, the Hornets are an Eastern Conference team. So theoretically, the Hornets are a bigger game for the Bucks. But that's just theoretically. But yeah, yet on the fact that the Bucks have a game tomorrow night too, if Damian Lillard doesn't play, they're going to be super thin as far as bodies to throw out there. I'm on Minnesota, man, and this is a crazy night of NBA, but this is actually a bet I like. I like my position here. I'm holding a Minnesota +2 ticket, and I think I'm sitting pretty. Let's see what the poll thinks. Poll likes the T-Wolves slightly, though. There's a lot of people out there betting the Bucks. 50%, 37% in Minnesota. Someone says Lopez was traded. That just happened while we were...
Robin Lopez.
Oh, yeah. Who cares? Who cares?
Yeah.
We don't care about that, Lopez.
No.
Next. Utah on the road in Phoenix. I know, Proper, you said you didn't like this game because you said that to me.
Yeah, the back half of the slate I like a lot less than the first half, which is crazy considering a Bulls-Grizzlies game was in the first half of the slate. But yeah, I'm just not loving the back half of the slate. I would love to know who the hell is starting in place of Simone Fontecchio at the forward for Utah. They literally don't have one on the roster now after trading.
It says John Collins and Kessler are going to start at 4 and 5.
Oh, okay. So they'd move Markin into the 3. I wouldn't hate that. All right, then I might look at something Walker Kessler related. Quite frankly, who's minute that he can produce.
If Markin is at the 3, I mean, how are they stopping the Suns in transition? Like how they defensively? That just sounds like a nightmare.
I don't know. Well, that's the trade they made, so they're gonna have to deal with that one.
The thing what sucks here is Bradley Beal and Devin Booker being questionable.
That's the main thing too. I don't really know how to read this one with all that going on. I like Modi's play with KD. I was looking at it earlier today, but I kind of wanted to wait for the injuries. But now that I think about it, it's gonna be hyperinflated.
I didn't even know we had a KD play. Lay it on us, Matt.
Yeah, it's KD 30+ points. Both Booker, like you said, and Beal are questionable. Last I checked, books still had odds out for Bradley Beal, but not Devin Booker. So just from that information alone, my guess is that Booker isn't playing. And without Booker, KD's usage rate just skyrockets. 29% just normal, 35% without Booker. And that 6% increase, that's the highest in the Suns by far. Bradley Beal is the second highest. So in the off chance that they both miss, maybe it's one of those ones where the defense just gives all their attention to KD, but he can still score even with that. And the Jazz defense is not great. And Durant's cashed this in 5 of 9 games without Booker. And I think he's averaging over 30 points in those 9 games as well. And again, now he gets the benefit of going up against the Jazz, who just not a good defense. So I was able to get it at +100. Looks like it's -110 now, but I would still take it at that number.
Yeah, if Booker's not going to play, you got to like your position there.
Yeah.
I'm on the Jazz. And look, there's definitely some bad angles for Utah here. Number one being they've struggled against the mid-range shot. But if Devin Booker's out, I mean, the Suns still have Durant, Beal, hopefully Beal. He's questionable as well. But the Suns are still going to take a lot of mid-range shots, and they're going to get good looks from there. But without Booker, that at least takes away a chunk of them. But that's a positive angle for the Suns, is Utah struggled against the mid-range shot. Utah also really struggles defending the fast break. Suns don't run a ton of fast breaks, but when they do, they're efficient. That's a weird angle too. But overall, what I'm really fading here is 2 things. Number one, I think people really have it in their head that you got to fade the Jazz on the road. They're 9-4 against the spread in their last 13 on the road, second best in the NBA. So I'm fading that because everyone says that, like, oh, I can't bet the Jazz on the road. Like, they're riding a trend from like November. So I think the line's a little bit of inflated just because that's in everyone's heads. But also, number 2, the Suns are just the masters of winning home games and not covering. They're 8-2 in their last 10, but just 4-6 against the spread. They're probably going to win the game, but are they going to cover this number? Based on recent Sun games, probably not. I feel like the Suns win this one by 4. Look, yeah, on the fact that Utah also has the serious offensive rebounding edge, they should get plenty of second chance opportunities. Who knows? Jazz might be in this game. This isn't one of my bigger bets, but I'm on this. I placed this bet. I got it at 7, and I'm not changing. I'm not gonna say I like my position, but I think I'm gonna win this bet. Utah plus 7 or 6.5.
I might look at a Grayson Allen over if Booker and Beal are out. Dude shoots like an ungodly amount from outside. And the Jazz above the break 3-point defense over the last 10, 24th in frequency, 29th in efficiency. They're just getting absolutely torched with the catch and shoot. So may look at him, may look at Eric Gordon there.
Someone said, because he's talking about me and Prop Beaver's hats, said Penn State and Chargers, so much mids on 2 heads.
I saw that, and I almost grabbed my Phillies hat just to add it to the collection of.
Add some more mids.
Yeah.
So the poll was 50%, 39% in favor of Phoenix. So community slightly leaning towards the Suns there. Next. Someone wants to know the total in Jazz Suns. I guess I'd lean over. Do you know offhand what the Suns' pace is like on and off splits as far as Devin Booker? Because I feel like he speeds the game up.
Yeah, I would say he definitely speeds the game up. I feel like it'd be a bit of a slower pace, but I mean, all I know is that if you're fading the Jazz defense, you're probably doing pretty well in terms of making money. I mean, Jesus Christ. So, especially on the road, like maybe the offense has been showing up on the road lately, but the defense, their past like 4 or 5 games on the road has been treacherous. The only thing that's helping them here is that the Phoenix offense at home for some reason just stinks. So,
next. Denver at LA. A lot of people asked about this game. Nuggets, Lakers. Prop Beaver said you didn't like the second half. Moda, you have anything for this one?
No, I got one for this one.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, I took mine from Prop Beaver, so I'll let him speak for me.
Okay.
I have the same one.
Yeah, I'm betting Anthony Davis 25 plus points, minus 105 on DraftKings. I'm just going to keep taking my centers against the Nuggets. It's been really profitable lately. Last 30 days, they're allowing the 4th most points per game to center. We just cashed on Dominating the other night. He had 27 against them. Chet had 18. Lopez had 19. I could go on for days, actually. They've been really getting cooked by centers. And meanwhile, we've got AD on 2 days rest, who I don't really take too much into account with the rest splits unless it's something dramatic. And on 2 days rest, when you give this man rest, he's a monster. He's cashed all 6 games this season. He's averaging 28.7 points per game. And he's cashed his last 16 to 21 on 2 days rest, going back to 2022 as well. This Denver defense and the team as a whole is much more vulnerable on the road, so I'm expecting a bit of a competitive game. And with 32 plus minutes at home, AD's a wagon. He's 15-4 this season, 30-15 since 2022. And I specifically love the matchup for AD for the same reason I like the matchup for DeAndre Ayton. These guys live in the mid-range. 45% of his shots either come from the paint or from long mid-range, 94th percentile amongst most bigs. And Denver's funneled shots to these spots are 21st in both long mid-range and paint frequency their last 10 games. Now, if you're looking at some recent history against Denver, not the best for some reason, but with the way they're currently looking, protecting the rim, protecting the basket, and defending those centers, I have to go for it. If you want to get this at 23.5, if that's still available, I don't mind drinking the juice, but he's landed on 24 and not 25 just twice in his 69 of 121 cashes for AD over 23.5 points. So I just thought taking away those 20 cents was justified there.
Moda?
I have the same exact play.
Oh, that's right. You said that.
Yeah, I hadn't gone through it yet. I did look up the Suns' pace because I was curious. They're actually faster without Devin Booker.
Really?
It's not a huge difference. Like pace per, I guess this is per 100, I think. Without Booker is like 99.51. With him is 99.51. Without him is 100.37. So it's not a huge difference, but yeah.
All right. So yeah, that probably would point more towards an extra couple points towards the total there for those asking about the over under the Jazz game. As far as my pick in this one, Lake Show it is. Couple things here. Number one being, all right, so if you've been fading the Nuggets on the road, you're doing very well financially this season. They've been so bad on the road. What are they, 6-12-1 against the spread as road favorites this year? One of the least profitable teams on the road in the entire league. So if you've just been auto-fading the Nuggets on the road, you're making money. That's number one. Number two, look, you could definitely find positive angles for the Nuggets offense here about why they'll score points on the Lakers, and they make sense. I mean, I covered some of them in the video last night, but there's two big ones here. And and it's free throw rate on both sides of the court here. The Nuggets offense, not reliant on getting to the free throw line, but foul shots is a big part of their offense. They're usually hovering in between 10th and 15th in free throw rate. Lakers are, I think, second defensively or third. Lakers don't send guys to the line. They're very good about that. They don't give you free points from the stripe here, the Lakers defense. So that's a big chunk of the Nuggets offense that might not be there tonight. Now, I don't expect the offense for the Nuggets to be completely bad. They're very good, but maybe a little hindered without the trips to the free throw line. And then free throw rate on the other side. The Nuggets are back 19th, 20th in defensive free throw rate. Lakers one of the best in the league at getting to the foul line. So I think we're going to see a game with a huge free throw discrepancy in favor of the Lakers. It'll be one of those games where people tweet about it like, 40 free throws to 16. It's like the most idiotic thing. Like, that's a skill set. Not fouling and getting to the free throw line is a skill set. And the people are like, it's rigged. Man, that's like saying it's rigged because Patrick Mahomes threw for 300 yards, but Desmond Ridder only threw for 100. Like, it's craziness. Anyway, so big free throw discrepancy here for the Lakers. Also, and here's the big one that I probably should have led with this because this is my favorite. The difference in pace between these two teams recently. In the last 10 games, the Nuggets are dead last. Slowest paced team in the NBA. Lakers are second. The Lakers have been sprinting up and down the court, running the fast break, and defending the fast break, defending in transition. It's been one of the weakest parts of the Nuggets defense. They're back at 23rd in the 23rd on the full season. So I expect the Lakers to pedal to the metal here, keep this Nuggets team on the run, keep getting trips to the foul line, and I think they win. Nuggets on the road. I don't need too much convincing to fade the Nuggets on the road because it's been so profitable. What worries me here is tomorrow night. Both these teams have big games tomorrow night. The Nuggets immediately fly to Sacramento, and the Lakers host the Pelicans. But I'm hoping the fact that both these teams are very well rested right now, that we should see full minutes, and I hope so. But it does suck right before the All-Star break, back-to-back huge games. Who knows what we're going to see from those rotations. But I'm on the Lakers. I think they win.
I saw a couple people in the comment talking about Jamal Murray. I actually was going to play his line, and the one thing that really held me back from playing it, because I do like it, it's a sharp number. He hasn't been hitting it a lot lately. It's the win-loss correlation. So I personally think the Nuggets are going to lose tonight. I think the Lakers are going to win. He's had 10 losses this year. He hasn't hit that number in one of them. Hasn't even come close in any of them. So that's what really led me from not betting Murray. But if you think the Nuggets are going to win, I do like the spot for Murray quite a bit.
All right, so our poll is definitely on the Lakers there. 65%, 27%. We're a Lakers community today. We got one more game, and to be honest, I didn't bet it. I didn't even really look at it because last night when I was
hard to.
Well, I mean, I'll put it up. Well, actually, I don't even know if I'll put it up. I was just gonna say blindly take the Pistons, but with the trades, can you even see this Pistons rotation right now? Yo,
it's so bad.
I'll put the poll up. I mean, let's see if anyone else has. I am not betting this game, or at least I haven't yet. If any of these guys has something they're really passionate about, maybe I'll tail, but I don't know. This is nothing for me. Modai, you have anything?
You got Modai.
I kind of like this player prop, Jeremy Grant over 22.5 points, plus 105. The people who can, like, forwards / big men who can attack the rim, just kill the Pistons. At the beginning of the year, it was point guards. They cleaned that up a little bit. Now it's just like big dudes that, again, score at the rim. Last game, Trey Lyles, who is like on an over-under of like 6.5, scored 19 points. Sabonis scored 30. Earlier this past week, Franz Wagner scored 38, and Kawhi scored 33. And obviously, of those players, Kawhi's a different animal. But all the other guys are pretty similar scores to Grant, aside from maybe Sabonis, who's not as much of an outside guy. But according to the Courtside Pal, the Pistons give up second most points to someone of both of Jeremy Grant's shooting and scoring profile. I will admit, I never love backing a guy like Jeremy Grant because he can just have games where he just decides not to do anything. His aggressiveness is definitely it comes and goes. But should be a good game for him. He missed it last game against the Bucks, but prior to that, he had scored 24, 27 points. So yeah, it's not, again, on a lot of this slate, I feel like it's not my favorite play, but it is a good matchup for Jeremy Grant. And if it's a night where he decides to try and score, he should be able to cash the over.
It looks like there's people taking the Pistons in the comments, but I think it's because Shipley is trying to
say.
he's in there.
Classically Shipley.
I'll put it up
dude,
because I can confidently say if I was to bet this game, if I'm talked into it in the Discord, if someone in the next 5 hours talks me into placing a bet, it would only be here. I would not be laying 6.5 with Portland. So this is the only way I go, just because this team is just a machine as far as covering the number. I had Pistons money line last night, only $100, half unit, nothing. But hey, Pistons money line was sick. I was on that. That was a fun game to watch, man. So I'm not going to turn my back on the Pistons now. This is the only way I'd go.
I would put up on the screen for me right now, because in terms of props, I mean, there's so many people missing for Detroit. Asar Thompson's a game time decision. He tweaked his ankle last night. I wouldn't be shocked if he sits. Danilo Gallinari just got announced out. So right now, the projected 7-man rotation for the Pistons is Jaden Ivey, Cunningham, Duren, Sasser, Muscala, and Wiseman. That is pitiful. I know they've been covering the number a lot lately. Put the Blazers up for me. Put the Blazers. And
you're gonna lay
the
6.5 points with Portland.
Yeah, happily. 8-2 this season with 2 to 3 days rest. They've been playing some good ball when they get rest. I'll tell you what, man. And then on top of that, the Pistons, they've been doing their best work in the paint lately. And you wouldn't think so with Dominating, but Dominating's been protecting the paint quite well lately. 6th in freak, 5th in efficiency their last 10 games. The Blazers' main shot zones over their last 10 games, they're the paint and the rim. And despite having Jalen Duren, they've been very mediocre protecting that area of the court. So I just think that with so much going on in terms of the trade, so many guys in and out, we still don't know if is Cunningham like fully ready to go tonight?
He's probable. Yeah.
Okay.
I think he's in. Yeah.
There's just too many pieces out for a Blazers team that at most would be without DeAndre Ayton.
Not only pieces out, pieces that like weren't even with the team 3 hours ago. like Shake Milton.
Well, I don't think they're playing, but yeah.
No, he's out. I'm saying like it's just such a confusing injury report because there's just like a bunch of names listed and a bunch of them like weren't even Pistons a few hours ago. Now they're listed as out for the Pistons. Quentin Grimes, Fontecchio, like this is crazy.
Yeah.
So Prop Beaver is down to lay 6.5 points against the scorching hot Pistons. Remember when you were saying they should fire Monty too? Don't you look like a fool?
Do coaches get hired and fired for covering the spread?
They should. They damn well should.
No, they shouldn't.
They damn well should. All right. So let's go and we got to do the community parlay now because it hit last night for plus 930 or something.
Wow.
So first, it was a monster. Magic money line. Warriors, Pacers, they voted for Warriors. Mavericks, Knicks, they definitely voted for Dallas there. Cavs, Nets, they definitely voted for Cavs. All right, first leg of the community parlay. Cast your votes.
Some guy, Tyler H, in the comments wants to know what it would take to spoon, Kyle.
What do you mean?
To spoon with you.
To spoon with me? Oh, dude, it's on the website. Go to prices and packages. Someone asked about the Super Bowl video. I was going to put it up Saturday afternoon, somewhere in there. I'll probably upload it after the college basketball live show on Saturday. I'll wait. I'll be the last one to post. Everyone's already got their stuff up yet. Let them sweat and wait for it. Looks like Dallas is going to win the poll. Yeah, it's close, though. I'll give it another 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it is Dallas. The Mavericks make the community parlay. So this was last night's that hit, by the way. Mavericks money line. Next poll. We got, let's see. They voted for Bulls. Bulls money line. T-Wolves. They definitely voted for T-Wolves. Jazz Suns. They voted for Suns. And Nuggets Lakers. They voted for Lakers. All right, second leg of the community parlay. And by the way, second place in that first vote was Magic. Oh, Magic and Warriors tied. So if you voted for Orlando or Golden State, you'll get another chance to vote for them. Wow, really? People voting the Lakers like that? A lot of people like the Lake Show tonight.
Right.
What could go wrong?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see any. Only the defending champions.
Yeah.
Someone's asking prop people for college basketball props. You must not know.
Zach Edey over rebounds.
Sharp call. Sharp call.
Yeah.
It's set at 17.5.
Still too low.
Lakers money line. So Dallas money line, Lakers money line, and the second place finishers we got. Oh wait, I think we have one game left. They voted for the Pistons, so we'll give the Pistons a chance. Pistons money line. And then second place finishers: Magic, Warriors, Suns. Magic money line, Warriors money line, Suns money line. And we're gonna do the first and second place finishers of this poll. Make it first and second place. I know. Someone said, trust me, we were talking about that. Said, imagine what the community parlay would have paid out last night if we had Pistons money line instead of plus 13.5. She would have been a monster.
I mean, just between the Pistons and the Pelicans, it could have been a nice two-leg.
Yeah. The other two were heavy favorites, so you had the Pelicans in there and then the Pistons on the number. All right, first and second place. Yeah, plus 2,000 or better. I think it would have been far higher than that, to be honest. I would have guessed like plus 5,000. Because, I mean, the Pistons were plus 650 themselves. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. End poll. And the winners are, as we wait for results, where is it? Making us wait, this one. Come on, YouTube. Give me the damn results of the poll. People want to bet this parlay, man. Here we go. Warriors and Suns. Wow, Warriors. That's going to fatten it up.
Wowza.
Plus 14-19.
What?
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Community's out of their minds.
Y'all are getting ballsy these days.
I know. So the community parlay. Mavericks, Lakers, Warriors, Suns, plus 14-19. Community is feeling themselves taking a home run swing here. Hopefully we cast two big ones in a row. Thanks for watching. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, 4 p.m. Eastern time. No college basketball show tomorrow because Friday college basketball sucks. Actually, I didn't look. If there's college basketball, we'll be live 3, but definitely NBA 4 p.m. And then college basketball show 10:30 a.m. A lot of people were there last Saturday. It was almost 1,000 people in there. So the last Saturday went well. We're doing it again, 10:30 a.m. Everyone, enjoy your night. Be sure to bet responsibly. Give me like an hour and I'll be in the Discord if you need me. Later.
Dude.